There always seems to be something going on in the world today. Let's talk about one battle after another. Paul Thomas Anderson is one of those filmmakers who I've seen a handful of his films, but I wish I've seen more because he is an exceptional filmmaker. He really understands filmmaking and making things engaging with really interesting characters and interesting things to say with a perspective that you don't normally think about. And he comes up with these stories and ideas that he himself can only come up with. And he does it again in a movie about revolutionaries who are being chased and hunted down by a maniacal psychopath. This film has a stacked cast like any other Paul Thomas Anderson movie. It stars Leo, Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, Regina Hall, Tiana Taylor, and Chase Infinity, who is actually really exceptional in this film and probably the heart of the film. Some of the highlights of the film, the cinematography, the direction, the performances are really top notch in this film, as you would expect from a Paul Thomas Anderson director film starring all of these names here. There are some standout performances, especially with Chase Infinity, who I feel like gives a lot of the more emotional and powerful performances in the film. And my favorite is Sean Penn, just because how absurd and ridiculous he is. I think the rest of the cast is solid. Leo shtick in the film kind of does get exhausting after a while, but he's fine. He's endearing. He's just a lovable goofball. Tiana Taylor is really good, especially in the beginning of the film, but unfortunately, that's about where her role in the film stops, and you just kind of wanted a little bit more. And that's kind of what this film ultimately is. Like, every time you think you're getting to this moment of greatness, it just never quite touches it or makes you feel or involves you beyond what is being presented. You're going to have a good time. It's a competently well made film. The score is really good. The editing, the sound designs, there's some really cool sequences where there's a bunch of things going on and it just never really stops. And ultimately, I think that has to do with what the story is trying to say, that there's these constantly moving things that are happening in our lives, and it's always challenging. There's always something else. There's something more. Just you just can't get a break. And it's kind of like our political climate right now, where it just seems like there's always something new, everything. And it's definitely a movie that is feels like a 2 hour, 30, 45 minute movie, and it does to an extent earn its runtime. There is a little bit of a lull towards the middle, but I do like the beginning and the ending of the film a lot. Some people are going to tell it as one of the best movies of the year, and the reviews are stellar. I don't agree with that, but that's from my perspective. I do think it's a movie that does tackle a lot of themes and messages, just not very in depth. It's very surface level, and there are some things that it does that kind of give me cringe. I do like the message about setting up the next generation to fight for our rights, to continue this war that we're consistently going on, and eventually, hopefully, there's a brighter future out there. But yeah, it's a good movie. It's filled with a lot of fun. It's really entertaining, and there's a lot you can take away from it. But at the end of the day, it's just not something that really hits those high highs that you kind of come to expect from Paul Thomas Anderson.